goal was not to inflict any wounds on ourselves, and we did that. The goal was to stop the running game because we figured they wouldn't profound a pass, and we gave up 355 yards rushing. 4 turnovers, 3 points off the turnovers. Injuries. Bayard, he didn't break it, I don't believe is what they said. So he's gonna be okay. Two plays to me changed the whole course of the game, a fumble and explosion right after the fumble. The gentleman who fumbled, that's on me, I put him in the game. Try to have a change of pace. Figure he was gonna hit it, and he hit it, and he fumbled. It is what it is. Defensively, we gotta do much better. We forced turnovers, and offensively, we gotta score. Didn't do any of that. Let's go.
Adam, you wanna start?
Sure.
Just going back to talking about getting those 4 takeaways defensively, only turning them into 3 points, is that kind of demoralizing for a defense when it's not getting
It's
passion?
demoralizing. It's tough. It's tough to think that we don't have more in the tank to come up with some things to take advantage of those situations, and that's situational football. We got to be much better than that, and we didn't. We weren't, and we aren't.
Leo, go ahead.
Coach Leo Barrows, Goodman Sports. You talked earlier in the week about trying to get the ball in your playmakers' hands.
Yeah.
You struggled to do that outside with your wide receivers. What did you make of the game
Well,
plan?
I'm not going to say we struggled to do that. Joseph Williams had 12 targets. Omari Miller had 9 targets. Sincere had 5. We threw the ball 38 times.
Yeah, but only 3 catches from Omari.
We didn't, exactly. We didn't do our jobs. You targeted the right guys, didn't you? Right? Aren't those the playmakers? We didn't do our jobs. Dallin had 69 yards. We rushed for 161 yards. You can win rushing for 161 yards in college football. You can. But we didn't get it done.
Ryan, go ahead.
Ryan Schools from Rocky Report. You guys got a lot of play time from Isaiah Harch tonight. He had a good game. What was it like watching him do this thing out there tonight?
He had a tough game early on, did he? He bounced back and stayed steadfast, and he's a competitor. That was his first time in a while playing in the slot, but he's a competitor. And we were thin back there tremendously after Bayard went down. So the guys did what they had to do. I mean, we had a Preston Hodge played a safety. We had really planned on that though, but he got an opportunity to play safety. Yeah, but we just got to do better. We got to make plays, man. You know if I'm much about it.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, a couple questions for you. Dallin and Michael were running the ball well tonight.
Yeah.
You mentioned change of pace, but what was it you've been seeing out of Ronald Coleman? You thought this is the time to get him
Very
give him a touch?
explosive. I mean, even the play he was in, he hit it. He hit it. He was free. Nobody touched him. He hit it. He did what we thought he would do.
And then the second question is, Julian, obviously he was under pressure a lot tonight. He looked, from the box, maybe a little bit more flustered than the past 2 weeks. Did you see something different out of him today?
He wasn't settled. Never got settled. We got to do better.
Go ahead, John.
John Treach, 9 News. Coach, you and Kenny Dillingham took over programs in the same conference at the same time. Is
Yeah.
part of your evaluation seeing where they are versus where you are right now?
Well, we're not happy with where we are. Not at all. I'm not going to compare myself to any other person. I'll let you guys do that. You guys do it really well. So I'm going to let you guys do that. I'm happy for him. I consider him a friend. I consider him a heck of a coach. I consider him coach some heck of a players. They won. I mean, I think in the first half, I know in the first half, you saw a team that was out there fighting and competing that should have had the upper hand, but we didn't. So I'm not going to, just shower opposing teams with roses when we were right there in the game. We shot ourselves in the foot. I don't think we're being beaten like that. I think we're doing a good job of beating ourselves.
Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Coach.
While I believe that's true, rush defense has also been a problem pretty much
Yes.
all year.
Yes.
Do you, I mean, is that just like an across-the-board personnel coaching thing, or
That's
how do you
everything.
pinpoint it?
That's everything. Let's start with me. That's everything.
Okay, and when you look at how you will go about fixing that next year, because I mean, I think it was the
Mhm.
third time over 300 yards this year allowed.
Yeah.
Where do you start, just out of curiosity?
I can't really disclose that where you start, but the process has already started.
Got it, thank you.
Thank you.
Jack, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Jack
Jack,
Harlow.
my man.
Great. Appreciate the time. Senior day, obviously just what were the emotions like for you? A lot of guys,
Tough.
obviously like Jeremiah, Alejandro.
Yeah, tough. Love those guys. I have different relationships with all these young men. I got an opportunity to walk out with a gentleman as well, because his parents couldn't make it due to some difficulties and all that. But it's tough. It's tough. Letting them go out like that. You want to send them out with a win. You want to send them out in style and fashion. You want to send them out in the proper way, but we couldn't get it done.
Coach Scott.
Hey Coach, Scott Rector at DMVR. Excuse me, I know you obviously haven't had the time to watch the film or whatnot, but when you're standing there on the sidelines and watching everything that's transpiring, what immediately comes to your mind about just what needs to change this offseason for next season and beyond, obviously?
Plethora of things. You just can't identify one thing. It's not one thing. Because if I say one thing, you guys are gonna attack the other things that I didn't say, so I'm not gonna give you that. I'm gonna say it's multiple things that will need to change, and it will. It will. Matter of fact, it's already in progress.
Coach Howard.
Like I said, guys, we could sit here and we could throw stones at everybody. You know, I always tell you to start with me. But the football team you saw in the first half from us was the football team that we're capable of being. Just the consistency to hold on and continue to be that. That's a whole nother thing. But there's no way you sit up there and say, well, they sitting up there competing against a ranked football team. What's really going on right here with a freshman at quarterback?
Hey, Coach Charlie King with the Denver Gazette. You've talked all, or at least before the season and throughout the season, about how much better you feel like the depth of this team was. But
Yeah.
at some point, did the injuries that you guys have been suffering just kind of mount up at some point?
Yeah, but that's no excuse, man. Everybody got injuries, man. Everybody got injuries, so that's no excuse. I'm not gonna sit here and say we're not winning because we had half the darn team during our training room. No, come on, man. We gotta coach better. We gotta do better. We gotta plan better. We gotta be better all the way around.
Ryan, go ahead.
Hey Coach, just want to follow up on that. I know you don't make excuses for that, but when there's so many injuries like this, do you guys evaluate like how are we training things like that, or is this just one of those things that
No,
happen?
this had nothing to do with training. It has to do with men. We just played a team that didn't have their starting quarterback. And they was missing a few other young men as well, so we're not the only one with an injury. I'm not gonna make an excuse for that. We gotta do a better job. We compile the roster. We gotta do a better job of roster management and so forth, because you gotta plan for this kind of stuff.
Coach Hill.
Hey, Coach, looking more on the optimistic side of things, was there anything that you took away from the game that you could, maybe hang your hat on or be positive about?
I can't hang my hat on that little junk I just saw. No, like first half was incredible. Like I'm saying, hey man, shoot, everything they got, we've given them. That's what I'm thinking. After the first half, we've given them everything they got. Then we go down and you score. We gotta make a comeback. We go down and get some points, but we just gotta do better. We're right there. Didn't fall smart. You're right there. So you could be. I can't be happy with being close because I expect to win. So I'm not. There's no consolation prize in football, man. You can't be happy with just because you're in the game. You're supposed to be winning the game. I'm not built like that, man. I want to win. I don't want to be close. To make y'all feel better, make the fans feel better. I don't want to be close. I want to win.
Coach Liam Howard, School of Sports. You mentioned it briefly, but just walking out with Zarian before the game, and even with his parents not being able to be there, what did that sort of mean for you and for him as well?
Well, it means a lot to me because I love him like he's a son. I love a lot of those young men. Unfortunately, they had their parents there. I would make sure I met all the parents and everyone that shook their hands when they were assuming the lines to go out. But that's a touching moment, man. You got to understand, like, it's one more game, but you got some of these young men that never play here again. I think that's why I called timeout at the end of the darn game, and I got cold dead. that may be it forever. So you gotta consider that stuff and be thoughtful of these young men that chose us, that gave their careers over to us to allow us to mold them and teach them how to be not just a football player but a man. So I got a lot of respect for them for choosing us. I really do.
I would agree.
Coach, you mentioned the lack of points off of the turnovers.
Yeah.
Is that just frustration for you boiling over the sideline, just a lack of urgency or killer instinct? What are you seeing when the team isn't able to capitalize on turnovers?
I see a multitude of things, man. I can't just I could give you a list and alphabetize. Is that right? How do you say that word?
Alphabetize.
You nailed it.
Say it.
Alphabetize.
Alphabetize. Alphabetize it for you, but I don't want to do so right now. It's so many things that you could hang your hat on and you could say, well, we got to do this, got to do this better. You saw it. I mean, I know some of you probably were surprised that we were where we were in the first half, and we should have been even farther than that with the turnovers that we had. We should have increased the lead.
Hey Coach, we're Baylor Weiss with the Independent. Although Marion only had 3 catches today, he had his 8th touchdown and already his 4th thrown from Juju.
Right.
So what type of connection and really potential do you see out of those two?
They're wonderful. I teach Mario every day. Like, I don't know how you do it. I always mess with him because, he's not a 4-3 guy, but he knows how to run routes. He knows how to use his leverage. He knows how to get off the jam. He knows how to place his body. If he has a step, normally he makes the catch. The kid can play. He can play. And they will have a connection. And prayerfully that stands.
Right.
You've spoken a lot tonight and the last 3 or so weeks about this team's struggles with consistency. From your eyes, is there a primary reason why this team has struggled with consistency?
It's tough to just identify because all of the things that you would like done, they're being done. Tighten down on a lot of things personally, as far as infractions, missing breakfast, missed weigh-ins, little things like that. A lot of people don't make a big deal out of it, but I do because those things are disciplinary things. And I'm looking in the first half, I think we only had 2 penalties, but we end up with a soul train line of penalties. That don't make sense when you're that consistent in the first half and you're not disabling and disarming yourself. And that's one of the things that was one of the keys to victory. Don't beat yourself. But when you come back and I think we had one gentleman with 45 yards worth of penalties, that don't make sense. We can't win like that.
Matt.
Coach, just a couple things for you. Was curious about the approach after the turnover that you generated when Sims kind of just, I don't know, fumbled it or threw it. I'm not sure what happened. There was a 3rd and 2, and there was a pass called there from like the 3, and then Julian gets sacked.
Yeah.
Was that the approach you were trying to take there?
He was trying to score. That's the approach we was trying to take. Trying to score a touchdown, to put the game closer and make sure we're where we want to be. That's always the goal, to score a touchdown. Now, if we get to the point where it's 3rd and more than 10 or something like that, I always say it's modern time. Don't mess up modern time because we're going to get to 3. You know he's going to make it, so don't mess that up.
Over the last 2 weeks, I mean, since going to Juju, setting things up for the future, clearly, like you said, he never really got settled tonight. But have you seen enough these last 2 weeks that can make you feel confident that moving forward you have your quarterback?
He's a good kid. He's a good young man. He has a bright future ahead of him. We can't just take this game and berate him or whatever because I think he did some wonderful things last week. He did some wonderful things this week. But you got to understand he's a freshman and he's playing against a really good football team, and we just got to do better. Capitalizing on certain downs. I mean, we like we said, we gave them turnovers, man. We gave the offense turnovers, and we got to do a better job of getting down the field. We had over 100 yards rushing. That's what you want. $161. But we 19 to 38 throwing the football, sacked 4 times. A couple of those were, we got to get it out. We got to get the ball out as well.
Jake Jasko, Buff Sports. You have a big decision with the Julian Lewis redshirt next game. Any plans?
Nah, anybody. These kids ain't thinking about redshirting these days, man. They think about being 3 and done. They want to go pro. They want to play. That would be, if they came to me and they wanted that, I would oblige them. But I don't know if they're the kind of family that wants that. I think they want to play and attain experience. I really do.
Scott.
Hey, Coach, you guys had a handful of recruits in the building tonight. Some guys committed to you guys already, some guys committed elsewhere or whatnot. How do you or would you kind of just reassure those guys that this is still the place for them and you guys are going to get things right?
They know what time it is. They like these recruits are crazy. Guys want to play. They want to come and play. So if they see opportunity, like I said before, dogs see opportunity. They want to play. They say, I know. I remember going to Georgia and seeing Georgia Tech beat Georgia when I was a senior in high school. And I sat up there and the head coach, I'm not going to call his name, said, once you redshirt a year, you're going to be phenomenal. I said, after what I just saw, I can play right now. I can start for you right now. But just mentioning the red shirt threw me off. So I took him off the list and I went elsewhere. But a lot of the young men see opportunity and they want to go and play. So I'm happy with that. And, sometimes you make a big deal out of the guys that decommit. You ever track them and see what they do with their careers? Why don't y'all start doing that and just see how this stuff plays out? You don't want that to happen, but sometimes it's not like you think. Sometimes it may not be a decommit. It may be no, we good. Like sometimes it's like that, but we just let it ride because we don't want to insult the young men.
All right, last one, Brian.
Coach, it's hard to maybe single out one guy on a defense that gives up 42 points, but Sean Myers the last couple of weeks has been balling and making some big time plays for you guys, and a guy that sat most of the year. Are you seeing something out of him that like he's kind of making the most of his opportunity these last few weeks?
It's been good. Yeah.
Anything else for Coach? Go ahead.
You watch no film on it. No. You watch no film.
One more, Coach. Go ahead.
Oh, no worries.
No problem.
ASU had that fake punt, kind of the same thing
Yeah.
happened against Utah, and they had almost one more trick play work. Do you think there's maybe like a reason why defense is susceptible to those, even though?
We had the whole defense out there, except for one guy. I knew that was coming. I left the defense out there. We got to do better. I got to prepare them better. We got to do a better job. We thought we were prepared, but we weren't. I thought we were. I thought we was in the proper call, the proper defense, and they still were successful. Normally when that stuff happens, it's hard to come back on it, but we did a good job of staying in the game, and should have did better. I'm sitting up here, I'm tired of singing the same old darn song to you. I really am. By the way, happy birthday to Peggy, and what Rick and everyone did for Coach Mack last night was unbelievable. The statue is unbelievable. I wish it was right in the center of the campus, though, I really do. But unbelievable moment with the former players that were up under his coaching. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful moment. I'm gonna end on this. I wish we could have sent the seniors out in the last home game. And thank you to the fan base, to the fans. I think they're out for break.
Thanksgiving break, yes, sir.
And they still showed up in great fashion. So God bless the fan base. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it right. God bless. You guys be safe and have a wonderful, blessed Thanksgiving.
Let's go to